Welcome to another episode of Business Highlight. My name is Pedro, and if you don't follow us on social media, go ahead and follow the Boca Raton Tribune on social media. It's us, Boca Tribune. If you find this video interesting, share this with your friends and your family on social media. And yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's just also Boca Tribune. Today, I have the honor of having with me on the show Hilary Zalman of the Zalman Law Firm. You guys might know her from her show on the BRT network, or also from the ad I just ran. But Hilary, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for hosting today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little different now because now you're the one that you're not going to be hosting. You're the one that's going to be answering the questions.
I know, and I really want to host you because for those people that are watching, I mean, Pedro's family, he doesn't talk about it, but his entire family is the media of South Florida. I mean, you guys are like the family. So
Yeah,
but we
but
want to talk about it today.
today's not about me. Today's totally about you, though.
Very famous family.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see. But for those that don't know who you are, who probably don't watch, maybe might not watch the show or anything like that, and just watch the business highlight one, introduce yourself a little bit to us and to the viewers.
Sure. So I'm an attorney here in South Florida. I also am an attorney in California, and I do state and federal practice. I also serve as a special independent magistrate in the city of Boynton Beach, and have been practicing here in Florida since 2006. Most of my time is spent at the law firm, at the practice, doing real estate law, a lot of landlord-tenant litigation right now, and closings and title.
For sure. Also, since it's live, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and just drop them in the comments below. I'm sure Hilary would love to answer those. But just to start off, how did you decide, to be an attorney? Because I know I don't know, were you like a kid saying, "Hey, I'm going to be an attorney one day," or were you like me, wanted to be like an archaeologist? How did that go?
That's what my son wants to be. So, yes, as a kid, I always knew I wanted to be, I think, one of four things. I either wanted to open an amusement park, be a famous actress, be an attorney like my father. Did I say four things? Or be a writer, So I always knew in the back of my mind that was there amongst the other things.
Yeah. The amusement park one, though, it's pretty cool.
It's like, still there. I still want to do that.
You can. I'm sure you can open one. It's like every dude's dream is to open up a bar. Like, yeah, we're gonna open a bar one day. That's the same thing, kids and amusement parks for sure. So you became a lawyer, but obviously you had to get your training somehow. And so, where did you get your legal training from?
So that's a great question. I'll step back for a moment. I went to University of Miami and studied film. I actually studied film and writing, and I had a minor in business. So I went from a creative side, and then I started focusing on film business and motion pictures business. But I did that pre-law school and then moved to California. So when I actually fell into law, I worked in the motion picture business industry first for several years, and then if you live in Los Angeles, you realize it's very, I don't know how to say, it's superficial. So like, I just felt like I needed something a little more concrete. So I turned back to law, and I went to Loyola Law School. It's a great law school. I loved that school to study law.
So you were in California. What made you want to make the trek back down to Florida and open up your practice here in South Florida?
Oh yeah, and go from movies to evictions. It just makes perfect sense. Just a lot of factors happened. My family's here, of course. I love being close to my family, and my heart's always in Florida. I love Florida so much, even though Los Angeles is great. But I think as I worked more in the motion pictures part, you think it's very exciting. But actually, in the legal world, it's mostly contracts. It's a lot of reading. And I like to talk to people. I like to talk to clients. The real action is in a courtroom or working with clients, or actually, that's the real drama. Right. There's no drama in just reading contracts on who has a higher billable name, a billing name on a movie screen. Who gets more jelly beans there, or has a larger trailer? I don't know.
Yeah. So then you decided to come down to Florida and open up your practice here. What does your practice exactly do?
So I started out, ironically, well, I worked at a few different companies, but I really got my training in what I do now at a firm in Miami. We were right in the heart of South Beach, and they had a landlord-tenant division that needed to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of just put my eyes on that division, and what I realized is, oh, the phone's ringing. I'm sorry.
You're good.
What what I realized here, I'll just turn it off for you. Okay. What I realized is that it's all statutory, and a lot of the lawyers that were doing it were overcharging their clients. It's a very step-by-step process, and I could save the clients a lot of money by streamlining it. So I started streamlining these cases, and I just fell into becoming a landlord-tenant attorney.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. So I guess
Right.
it kind of just ties in with my next question that I had for you is what made you decide opening up your own firm instead of actually going in with someone else?
That there's several reasons for that. One of them hit me, and I always remind myself of this one. But when you're at a larger practice, if someone calls and maybe they just need a demand letter or they just need your help, you're not always allowed to assist them because a firm might say, we can't hire you for an hour. We can't do a demand letter. It needs to be a bigger case. And I always thought I could help them. In an hour, I could take care of that. I could solve it. And I always had this desire to work with the client. But sometimes you're segregated from who you're working with and you're just given the file. So I really love working with the people and also getting the satisfaction from the opening of the file to the end of the file.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And yeah, that was probably a big reason. I also moved, I relocated. So I was further from Miami, and the commute to Miami is not so fun.
Not at all. So again, guys, we're talking to Hilary Zalman of the Zalman Law Firm. If you guys want to reach out to them, their website is zalmanlawfirm.com. You can get all the information there to how to contact them with anything. But Hilary, so what particular type of cases and law does your firm focus on?
So I think the majority of our cases, with the whole COVID pandemic, it's affected our firm quite a bit because a big majority of our practice is reading leases and negotiating landlord-tenant leases, either if it's for restaurants, commercial centers, or for just individuals renting an apartment. And then, of course, what goes along with it is renting, being evicted, having a problem with the landlord, having a problem with the tenant, and of course now COVID affecting businesses and residential landlord-tenant situations. So that is a big part of our practice, especially the shopping centers and the businesses and their leasing and problems with the landlord. I would say that's probably 80 to 90% of our practice. We do a lot of residential too. And the happier part is the closings. If you want to refinance right now and you need the title company to refinance, interest rates are so low. A lot of people are refinancing and purchasing and buying homes. So ironically, it's a great market for real estate, but it's not great for the landlord tenants. So that's what's keeping me pretty busy right now.
Yeah. So I think piggybacking off that, how has COVID affected your practice in these last, I don't even know how many months anymore. I stopped counting after April. So whatever month we're in, how long has COVID, affected you guys?
So basically in or around March, late March, Governor DeSantis stepped in and started doing executive orders regarding residential evictions. And from right there, people became confused. Do I have to pay rent? Can I be evicted if I don't pay rent? What's going on? Is rent being waived? The commercial restaurants and they were dealing commercial sector businesses, they're dealing with, can I be evicted? PPP loans, PPP funds, small business loans. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew if they had to pay rent or not pay rent. By the way, you always had to pay rent. So just so you know, I'm going to put that out there. This is not legal advice, but rent has not been waived. But so there was a lot of confusion in the news. So that's what kept us busy. We were getting calls morning to night with those questions over and over again. What do I do?
That makes sense. Yeah. What would you say if you're pitching your law firm to somebody? What would you say sets you guys apart from your competition?
Oh, definitely. You can reach me and the attorneys by cell phone. We're prepared for emergency litigation. We're prepared for same day litigation. We really are here to step in and give VIP service without VIP pricing. I don't have the overhead of a 52, story building. I don't even think they're that big. And that overhead is quite high,
Right.
but I have the same training or more training than most attorneys who are practicing this in the entire state, over 14 years or whatnot in this field. So you're getting that fancy attorney without that. I don't need to give you an espresso. Most of my clients don't want to sit there and meet. They want things to happen. Can we send you the retainer, via email? Sure. Let's get this done. Use new technology. They don't want to take 2 hours out of their day for a consult. They want to just start. And I already know what to do to start, and we just make it happen.
Switching gears a little bit to some more fun things. What would you say is your favorite part of practicing law?
The best part is when someone comes to me, whether it's a business or an individual, and they feel helpless. They can't sleep at night because of this problem. And then I say, oh, we're going to take care of it for you. And it's just the fact that I've listened to them for the last 15 minutes or half an hour, and they feel they have an advocate because they're so frustrated. They've been trying to resolve it on their own. People don't come to us if they just have an immediate problem. They've already tried to resolve it and then they can't. So we're, that last resort. And then I'll say, look, we'll take care of it. We could probably take care of it right away. So I think that's a good feeling. And then at the end, when people are like, thank you, or we resolve it and we don't have to go through big litigation. We just resolve it. We pick up the phone, we get it wrapped up. I love that. Just solving cases.
Yeah. Again, talking to Hilary Zalman of the Zalman Law Firm. If you guys want to reach out to them, their website is zalmanlawfirm.com. It's right there on the screen. Hilary, I don't know if I ask this question to everybody that comes on the show. You're a local person. You're from Florida, like you said. Are there certain organizations that you work with that, are near and dear to your heart?
We've had and on the Wednesday program, I've interviewed a few of them too, but I'll do business and then charitable. But so for business, I've been for networking purposes with the BNI group for a long time. I really adore my BNI group. That's where you have one professional in each type of industry. My dear uncle and family members are part of Rotary, and I try to be a guest as much as possible. My workload is crazy, so it's hard for me to be in a lot of organizations. Rotary is great. Charitable organizations, we try. I'm a big believer in trying to help the community, and we've spoken with Bogus Helping Hands, Place of Hope, and I personally am not as involved as I'd like to be. I just feel like I'm working all the time, and you're bringing up something that I aspire to. I want to be part of all these organizations more than I am. So these organizations I mentioned because that's my goal. I'll reach out to them once a year or twice a year to see how I can assist or at a project. They're all hurting a lot too because of COVID. Yeah. So they can't have the regular fundraisers or you can't just go volunteer. So they still have the causes to help. Sure. In terms of the Florida bar, being part of any Florida bar, what would I call them? Like subgroups, the real estate division, young attorney division I was in. I don't know if I fit that anymore, but I was in that. So yeah, there's just so many things. The federation, I could go on and on trying to be as part of many groups as I can.
That's awesome. If there was one thing that you could, some piece of advice that you could give a young person out there that either wants to be in law or doesn't really have an idea what they want to do yet, when it comes to their professional career, what would that advice to them be?
Wow. So if you know you want to do law, but you're not sure what you want to do in law, that doesn't matter, because when you go to law school, which I found to be very difficult, I found law school to be challenging because I came from a creative background and it's more scientific. But I think a law degree is amazing because you learn every area of life. You learn about wills, estates, contractors, subcontractors and contracts. You're learning about construction, You're learning about the Constitution, which is at issue right now in the government. You're learning about criminal law, criminal justice, search and seizure. You go through real property, obviously. You go through so many areas of life through law, and you just learn so much. So no matter what you do, it's giving you this global education. It's amazing, but it's really hard. It just takes a lot of time. If you're not sure you want to do law, I would say make sure you want to do it before you make that investment. It's a huge financial investment, and it's a huge time investment. It's going to segregate you from your friends and family for quite some time. Yeah. In terms of career choices, to answer the other part of your question, always stick with what your strengths are. If you really zoom in, you know what you like. Like I talked about at the beginning, I didn't want to sit in an office and just read. A lot of lawyers like that. I knew I wanted to be out. 10 years ago, did I know I want to be a landlord-tenant lawyer? No, but now I know I'm in a practice where I'm using my strengths. I'm talking in front of a judge. I'm talking to clients. You have to find where your strengths are. I like people. If your strengths are being in a room or reading or writing, then you find the avenue that works with your strengths. Maybe you like science. Maybe you would like to do patent law, engineering. So my best advice would also be to maybe before you go through the process, work in a law firm that's of interest to you.
Right.
A lot of law firms will not be fun to work at if you're not interested, and they're not necessarily fun to work at. But if there's a particular area, criminal law might be interesting.
Right. Before we head out, one more question for you. It's not really a question, really. I'm gonna open it up for you. Is there anything else that you would like to add about either your business or anything that you guys do or anything like that?
If I just go back, if I could just give anyone advice out there, I'll give two pieces of advice. For anyone who's in business and you're renting an office, you're renting a store, you're renting a restaurant, you know what? You're not able to do a lot from your old lease, but before you renew, there's all kinds of things you can do, not even COVID related. Talk to a lawyer to save some money. You can get all kinds of protections, hurricane protections, other kinds of protections to save you money going forward. Right. Just before you renew, talk to a lawyer. And for anyone who's residential and struggling with rent, also talk to a lawyer. It should be a free call. There's all kinds of rent relief programs out there. There's a number of things you can do. The CDC has new protections. If you're a landlord too, you should be aware of all this. So just be aware of what your rights are. The law and the judges and the courts, they want everything to work out. So there's a lot of programs for both sides. Yeah. So you should be taking advantage of what the government's offering right now.
Right. I don't usually do this, but since you have a show with us every, I believe, is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Wednesdays at 2.
Every Wednesday at 2. Can you give us a sneak preview of what we're going to be talking about next week?
Oh, this is actually very exciting. So, it's funny. I was in a book club because can't do anything. So I'm in a Zoom book club. And one of our first authors, I have it right here, was Ellen Hildebrand. And she's on the New York Times bestsellers list, this and that. And I thought, maybe I'll reach out and see if she wants to talk to aspiring writers and avid readers. And she does. She's coming on next week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so if you want to be a writer or you love reading, she's got a great series just to want to escape. Come listen to a really successful author. I'm excited. I'd love to know how to get on that list. I'd love to know. That's my first question. How do you get on the New York Times bestsellers?
And how do I do it? I need to.
How do I do it? I want to do this too. So join us next Wednesday at 2.
That's awesome.
And Pedro, you'll come on the show too.
Yeah, we'll be on the show. But again, guys, talking to Hilary Zalman of the Zalman Law Firm. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys want to reach out to her her web address, is zalmanlawfirm.com. And there you can probably get to the contact page and you guys can reach out and go from there. But Hilary, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us a little bit about your business today.
Thank you. If anyone has questions, call me anytime, please. I'm here to help. I love our community and I would love to offer advice. We don't charge. Just give me a call.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Take care. And that's going to wrap up another episode of Business Highlight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. If you guys please share this video and so other people can learn more about this information. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you guys next week.